All right. I'm going to record us here. And thanks for being here, you guys. It is June 5th, 5th or 6th. And basically, we're just going to recap boot camp from this weekend. It was an incredible boot camp. I think boot camps are kind of maybe my favorite. I feel like the training is the best, and it's just more intimate, and you get to just be closer with more people in our area versus conference, and we're all kind of scattered, although conference has its amazing attributes as well. But, first and foremost, just how important boot camp is. One of the reasons why we have, if you'll hear us talk in this business about big rocks mean, when you're filling your big jar of your schedule, and if you're running a business and want to be a professional at what we do, which if you want to make more than, a couple $100s a month, then you definitely want to be a professional at what we do. So when we think of our schedule as a big, jar or vase, the big rocks have to go in first, right? If we put the little rocks in, then we wouldn't have room for the big rocks. So the big rocks go in first, and then the smaller rocks, and then the pebbles, and then the sand. That's kind of our schedule of life, right? So our conferences, we do twice a year for the purpose of, it's easy not to do this business. And about every 6 months, it's like, yep, I need to remember why I said yes, remember why we're on this mission, see my people, get into the community, and that's one of my favorite parts, of course. But same as boot camp. So mostly boot camps across the country are in the summer months-ish. And it's just a great way and very inexpensive because they're all local, right? So inexpensive way to get training. Remember, hear stories of other people's journeys, which are powerful. And remember why we're doing this and get closer to being a professional. So I've asked a few ladies to just give us our takeaways, give us their takeaways from boot camp, and then I will wrap up with some highlights. So, Marina, you want to go first?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if I was muted or not. Okay, so my biggest takeaway without even looking at my notes was, what really got me thinking on it was there was a lady that presented, and she gave us 4 different ways to invite different people to events, to the same event. So she went through and she was like, if you're inviting an analytical questions type of person, you can invite them this way and be like, Dr. Stricker's coming to town. He give them all his background, tell them they can ask questions. And then she did the same thing, but she was like, and now you're inviting someone that just loves to party and they just love being around people. And then you invite them to the same event, but you're this doctor's coming to town and I'm going to go get a drink there and there's no bedtime. And it was all the same event, but she was just talking about how you can invite differently, and that hit home because I know that when you're talking to people, you want to try and gauge kind of that's out of education, or you've ever taken it as far as just when I'm inviting them, I'll get caught just listing the same invitation to so many people, and it's just so much more connecting and heartfelt when you personalize things like that. So just anything in my relationships and connect better with people and really make them feel special. And when you invest that time, it becomes a lasting customer and then eventually maybe a team member. So that one really hit home for me. Just knowing your audience and saying, or just knowing your audience and being able to be flexible in how you talk to them. So that would be my big takeaway. I don't want to take too much time.
Awesome. My internet is a little unstable. Did everyone hear her clearly? Was it just my end?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Hopefully the recording won't be messed up. I scooted closer to my house. So hopefully I'm I don't want to go inside. I want to be outside right now. So did you say how it was broken down into sharks, whales, urchins, and dolphins? Marina?
I didn't go that specific. I was just saying that, that I just loved how she was really digging deep, and even just in inviting people, she was really connecting with them, and that was eye-opening.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's similar to other kind of personality tests out there that people use personally and professionally in organizations. I know Jen had related to what her company had done as far as how to work with people, how to communicate with people, because we're all different, right? And so we need to know what speaks to other people, and just knowing, of course we can't go through that now, but knowing that training is out there. So, Jen, are you in a position with she's solo kids to share with us?
Yes, I was just going to the other room so I could be away from the movie that I'm using to babysit them for a half a minute. So no judgment.
None given.
You good?
I said none given.
I'm trying to think of like my major takeaway. I'm glancing through my notes and stuff. I think it's always just good. I love going and getting kind of refreshed on new ideas for things to do. Someone throwing out a kombucha party, right? And I never thought of that, and that's so trendy right now. So stuff like that. Or there was a Strong as a Mother, or it's just, I feel like every time we go to an event, whether it's conference or boot camp, that it's just so reinvigorating to think about like, oh yeah, here's new ways we can do this and new things to keep it fresh and lively. And I love that because it brings new energy to what we're doing. Because I start to feel a little stale with, I love the salad parties, but sometimes, especially when you've done several of them and they're more customer care oriented, they can be a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. So it's fun to bring new ideas into it. And so I really enjoyed that. And then I think just again, it hits home every time about the importance of getting people to conference, of really talking about, how important it is for your team. If you're trying to build team and you want people to understand, for their own benefit, to understand the potential that's there, it's so important to be there, because the community, the sense of community you get when you're there is just so incredible. And being able to learn from each other about the new, new ideas people are trying, or the things that are working, things that aren't, new products, all of that. But it's just, Chip, was talking about it several times, that you never know the one thing that's going to really resonate with someone and is going to click and give them vision. But going to a conference or a boot camp is a way for them to be exposed to, 100 different concepts in such a short amount of time, that one-on-one, you just couldn't, it would take you forever to get there. But if you can get someone to come to conference or boot camp or the bigger events, then they're exposed to so much in such a short amount of time, that the ability to get vision, that's why it's so critical. That really really got home, because I think I've kind of said, oh yeah, I should get people to the conference, but it's late, and I give them excuses. And I definitely think I'll go forward the next 6 months. Going forward period, but really focusing on Indy right now and trying to get my team there, and just anyone we can, just anyone that comes along in the meantime, just really keeping that as a priority, that you've got to be there, because that's how you're going to stay reinvigorated. That's how you're going to stay focused. And that's where you're going to catch vision and really understand what the possibilities are.
Yep, absolutely. So with that takeaway, is everyone committed to Indianapolis?
Yes.
So it's going to be, not only is it, a conference that we use for training and networking and remembering why and being empowered by other people's journeys, but it is going to be Team Thrive's huge NMD celebration with multiple promotions. So we have a group of people committed to Fast Track in June and July. And we have a handful of people who are committed to get to SC and get those 3 DDs on their team so they can get to SC. And we've got a couple people going for SSC, Nancy being one, Chip being one, at least by Indy. So not necessarily the SSCs by July, but for sure by Indianapolis in October. So Nancy, Kelly, and Chip, I hope, will be walking the stage as SSCs. I invite anybody else, Marina, if like after your wedding you feel like, you know, you definitely have potential to be there too. And
I might sneak in there.
yeah, you better. Okay. So I'm just going to add you to it.
I won't make any crazy statements before the wedding, but I like to be the underdog. So let's just go with that.
Okay. Well, we'll see if you can do it then. How about that?
Hey.
That's going to motivate you. Nance, do you feel up for sharing a takeaway? Your voice?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay.
So our CEO, Paul Teixeira, is that how you say his name?
Teixeira, yeah, I do believe.
I thought he stole the show. I could have sat and listened to his speech, his presentation over and over again. I just loved the way he explained our business. I'm not a business person, and just the way he showed how all the puzzle pieces fit together, it just won me over. So in general, this is what he said. Juice Plus believes in longevity, authenticity, quality, simplicity, approachability, and he sort of differentiated and said, we're not transparent in several ways, but we are always approachable. For example, we don't tell people where our cranberries are grown or our farms are, because people would go there and march through the farms and contaminate everything. And he also talked about how our company is built on culture, values, beliefs. I mean, I just love this guy. Totally was soaking it up. And he also said, we're about giving and caring rather than getting and winning. And I thought about it, you know, why do I like this business? And it's always kind of hazy to me. I think he and I have this same brain thing going on here. This is what is about. You know, it's authentic, it's unity. So yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to hear him again or see him, you know, if he does a video or something, be sure to do that. He's amazing.
Awesome. And I think that it was such a, it was awesome to have him, because he's our new, you know, fairly new CEO. So Jay Martin, who's our founder, president, and was our CEO for all these years, has now turned the reins over of, you know, running the company to Paolo. And and there's a reason. I mean, we can trust Jay Martin if you've been around at all for a while. Unbelievable leadership. And he, you know, met Paolo and basically recruited him and started grooming him, I believe. And I just want to share, since you talked about that, Nancy, thank you. He's Brazilian, so he's got this accent, and he's definitely, you know, giving all this great information about our company and how we are built for the long term. Every decision they make is built on the long term, not short term, which I don't know about you, but that is so impactful for me, because my husband and I are now doing this full time and putting all of our eggs in this nest, as many families like Jeff and Tony have done for years already. But to know that every decision they make is for sustainability and long-term success. And I want my kids in this business. I think I'm definitely going to get one out of the two, but we'll see if they're both smart to jump in.
I know which one.
To this business. But I just would love to just go over. He also has a great sense of humor, and he did a section on 5 tips on how to ruin everything. And of course, I get a kick out of anyone who can bring that sense of humor. It's one of the reasons why I love Jay Martin. But I think these are powerful, because as he was going through this, I realized, like, can you even imagine, like, when I started this business 10 years ago, there was not the social media that there is now. And can you imagine what this company has to do in order to protect themselves from all of us crazy people who pay $50 and call ourselves a representative of Juice Plus? that we can put all sorts of craziness out there. And of course, they're trying to monitor, trying to train us well, trying to teach us the right way to do this. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine that job, because as we know, there are many other home-based businesses out there who are dealing with lawsuits and have gotten in trouble for claims and all sorts of things. So we've never had a lawsuit against us. We've never gotten in trouble with quality control. Like, we just have such a pristine record over the last 24 years of Juice Plus being on the market. And of course they want to protect that. So all that to say, that's a plug for, make sure that when you guys are growing your team, that we're doing it right and we're training and making sure that that we protect the company and the name behind it and all of us people representing it. So he said, tip number 1, think short term. Okay, so these again are tips how to ruin everything. So thinking short term in our business, even as representatives, obviously come with consequences. I think a lot of network marketing companies out there, not a lot, like all of the traditional network marketing companies, come with kind of this fast cash, short term, get wealthy pretty quick, or make a lot of money quick, I should say, because wealthy is long term, but make a lot of money quick. And that is definitely not the way that we run. Some network marketing companies, you can make 10 grand, 40 grand your first month. And it's literally not possible to do that with Juice Plus. We are much more long-term, get wealthy, slow. So it's not get rich quick, it's get wealthy slow, because it's sustainable. Okay. Not too slow though. I mean, come on, just a little bit slow. Okay, number 2 is how to ruin everything is make crazy product and business claims. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. He's saying, we don't want one-time sales. We want repeat customers. We don't want people leaving unsatisfied. We want those, relationships. And he said, oh no, that's on the next one. Sacrifice relationships for speed. Okay, so we want to invest in people. We want to build those relationships. I love this. He said, lasting impressions are much more important than first impressions. Okay, so we want to do good customer care, make sure that we have raving fans, and take care of our team and invest, right? So number 4 is ignore or manage millennials. And I think we all got a kick out of that one. And he just went into one of the things about millennials that he said that I thought was powerful is that our U.S. Population now is 25% millennials. And there's, one of the big things about them, there's 82 million millennials. And one of the, if you are a Gen Xer or a baby boomer, there comes with some frustration that we've been talking about, or the Chip just bought 2 books about, because we need to learn how to all work together, right? Because each generation brings some challenge, but some also really great qualities. And with the millennials, as you millennials could agree, it's purpose and cause and community. So this next generation, they're not okay with working to the grind. They want just to work, just to get a paycheck. They are about doing something purposeful, which is, that's a huge part of Jen and Marina's story. And the reason why I call them out is because they've done the video challenge where they do their story 100 times just to get comfortable telling their story. So I know their stories well, and both of them have purpose behind them. Jen being on the older side of the millennial generation and having a corporate job and not being satisfied, and Marina being the younger one coming out of college looking for how to make an impact to the world and not just getting a job. Okay, so these are really positive things. And of course, the community part, if you've been around our community, and I think I could speak for, Uh-oh. Am I breaking up? Scooting closer to the, can you hear me now?
What's happening?
Can you guys see me? Hear me?
We're losing you, Jess. Oh yeah.
Yep. You're out.
Oh, yep. But can't see you, but can hear you.
You can hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, hello there. I guess I have to go to my office. Darn it. You hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, goodness. All right. I guess I'll be indoors. I thought I lost it, so I guess it's still recording, actually. That's crazy. But great. Okay. So where was I? Millennials. Yeah, so that's, I think I said what I need to say about that. At the end of it, the purpose, the community. I said if you've been around our community, you know that that's a huge draw. I can't say enough about the culture and community. Another thing that Paolo said that was really cool was that culture is the boss when the boss is not around. And we have such an amazing culture, you guys, and we can all feel good about, you know, the culture being boss. Versus a lot of other companies, whether it's corporate America and it's dog eat dog world, or it's, you know, another network marketing, direct sales type company who has lots of problems. And I mean, I know of one in particular that some friends are in that they said it's just so yucky. The way I describe our work, they're like, that so doesn't exist here. It's you know, their business and their culture is it's just negative. It's just kind of toxic. So I don't think we realize how good we have it, you know. And then the last one is on how to ruin everything is ignore the Children's Health Study. So it's such a cornerstone of what we do. Hi, kids. And the Children's Health Study, you know, if we're not leading, you know, with free Juice Plus for kids, then we are not doing our job, because this company has such a commitment to this next generation of kids, and they are free, and there's nothing in sight that they're going to stop that. And so it's been, gosh, I don't know, almost 15 years, I think, that they've been offering free Juice Plus. They've donated over $8 million worth of product. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I hope they never get rid of it, because it's pretty easy to sign up families when you're like, your kids are free, right? So, yes, Jen.
That was another point, do not touch, that really drove home for me when they were talking. And I think it was Paolo that said, he was talking about their commitment to charity. And he was saying that they have the commitment to do 10 million free meals through Volunteers of America. And basically it wasn't going fast enough. So they've added in the children's, what was it? The Children's Hunger Foundation?
Hunger Fund.
Hunger Fund, yeah. And so they're going to, basically they want to give out more meals. And so, and they can't do it fast enough through Volunteers of America. So they're going to do more. And they're going to go target 200,000 meals this year alone through the Children's Hunger Fund. So that whole concept of like, they're so passionate about giving back. If it's not happening fast enough, they'll find another way. And I love it. I love their commitment to children and to health and all that.
Mm-hmm. And to people in need. Absolutely. So that's the top 5 tips on how to ruin everything. I thought that was clever, on a way to have some fun and telling us what we should and shouldn't do. Just a couple more points, you guys, and I'll wrap it up. We had a Rising Star panel, and I just thought, you know, there were some great people on that. And I'm always going to mention every single call, and I want you to check yourself right now if you're doing personal growth stuff. So whether you're, you know, Marina's the only one selected to be a part of our company's personal growth, you got to get to fast track to SC in order to be eligible to get into that in the beginning, and in this next year as well. Of course, their desire is for everyone to go through the Brene Brown Brave program. But are you guys podcasting? Are you reading the books? Because if we're not preparing ourselves, and that was a huge thing for me, like I have definitely made my time in the morning with my first fruits to God and doing my devotional but yet it speaks to my soul, but I got to get this right too. And that is something that I'm like, I've got to add on another 10 or 15 minutes to get my mindset right and prepare our mind every day to go out and make a difference. And if you don't feel like you can go out and talk to people and be confident, then please reach out to me and let's do some more coaching around it. Of course, we want to bring the energy that we want to attract. Okay? So if you were going out there with a frowny face or, like, oh, how's life? Oh, so hard or whatever, that's what you're going to be attracting. It's so true. So we've got to get our mindset right every single morning. That was a huge takeaway for me, not just sometime during the day, because I just kind of squeeze it in every day when I'm working out, when I'm in the shower, whatever. I've got my podcast going when I'm driving, but really starting in the morning to be like, no matter what happens, no matter what comes my way today, I'm ready. Okay. We nutritionally do that with our bodies. We physically do it when we work out, or we have to put the exercise in to get this thing ready and resilient. So resiliency is a huge word that has been in front of me lately as the key to anyone's success. Does it say resilient, Marina?
It says resilience code.
Yeah.
That's where I work, but I still hear it every day.
Yes. Well, to really understand, that what that means, and that is the ability, right, to get up and keep going. Resilient. Think about bouncing off of you, and dusting yourself off. And to be honest, you guys, there's more unsuccess in this business than there is success because of the lack of resiliency. So people have the good intention. They love Juice Plus products, or they love helping people, or they love health, or all of the above. And they want to do this, and they have the desire to help other people. They have a desire to make an income for themselves, for their family. But you get 4 or 5 no's, it feels bad. We're not resilient, and we're out. We're done. This doesn't feel good. I don't think I'm good at this. I don't think I'm meant for this. Anybody can do this. It takes some skill and it takes some mind work because that resiliency is huge. And you guys, we're not born resilient. We're not. We have to exercise our ability to be resilient. And that's doing courageous things, daring to fail on a small scale to a big scale. As you all know, Chip and I are daring to fail right now as we lose 2/3 of our income and not run out to get another job to fill that income hole, but to start building this like we wanted to. So, but all that, again, your state is more important than your content. So if you get worried about saying the right thing, don't get tripped up on that. Your state, your emotional state is much, much more important. And then Hans Finzel, he's a leadership coach, and he is an awesome, awesome guy. He's been around since I've been around, so over 10 years. His wife's an NMD, and now he's trying to build his Juice Plus business. And this one really stuck with me too, probably because where I am in life, I've always said I'm not a risk taker. I don't like taking risks. That's why I said yes to the Juice Plus business, because $50 is not a risk. So, but what he said to me, I was like, oh man, it's so true. And that is, without risk, there is no reward. And I just have an example of monetary risk, right? If you think about the people that have really created wealth in their life, I have a client of mine, a personal training client, who's very wealthy. They came from nothing. They got married, didn't have money. Some nights they didn't know where their food was coming from. And he is a big business risk taker. So he started into business and he started buying and selling companies. And, he basically got to retire at about age 45. And they're multimillionaires because he huge risk, huge financial risk. Sometimes they would lose millions, and sometimes they would, gain millions. And so that's just a monetary example. But you guys, I want you to think about risk for anything and everything. I think a lot of us here love the idea, not just wealthy financially. Yes, you need to have money to do things. We need money. So don't be funny about money. But we want to be able to live the life that we want, right? And for a lot of us, that means to give our time and money away, to give more to our kids, to have that time freedom, or our grandkids, to be able to work from wherever. These are the things that are important to us. So just keep that in mind, that, without risk, there's no reward. So what thing can you think of maybe this week that you feel is risky that you can put out there? I would challenge you guys to do that. So I'm over time. We got to wrap this up. One last thing, Jason LaChance, our regional director. These are just some fun stats. Colorado is in the top 5 in the country for sales, you guys, which is not surprising, right? Because we are the #1 healthiest and leanest state in the country. So that's awesome. But what he pointed out was, like, California, the other 4 states are California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. And those states have 44 million, 36 million, 11 million, and 20 million in them. And our state is 5.5 million. And so, they have a ton more people in those states. We have way less than most, than a lot of states. And yet we are in the top 5. So that's kind of fun. And I said, what's fun about being a representative here is it does help that we live around people who are usually health conscious. And so we can talk to people about our healthy living revolution, and people, a lot of people already have that mindset here. So yay, Colorado. Anyone, we have like 2.5 minutes. Anyone have any questions or anything else to say before we wrap this up?
I do.
Yes.
I was listening to Zig Ziglar when I was walking today.
Yeah.
And can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. And I'll just give you one sentence that he said that I'm sure most of you have probably already heard him say, but I just love the guy. I wish he was still with us. He said, you can have anything you want if you're willing to help enough other people get what they want.
It's a classic.
That's it.
Yep. We'll wrap on that. It's so true. And, our giving, the thing I love, I will just finish with this. This business forces us to become a better version of ourselves. And if you're really going to be successful in this, it's the best version eventually of ourselves. And of course, the best version of anyone is servant-hearted and someone who is willing to serve and give to others. And that not only serves the world, but is so fulfilling to us. So I am so grateful that we are doing what we're doing. And it's not easy, you guys. There's discouraging times, but boy, it's worth it. It's worth it. So love you all. Mwah. And thanks for being on the call.